Welcome to Kaiseki Anime, where we air new episodes every other week. Kaiseki covers currently airing anime, older series and recently, and other relevant topics for the season. I'm your host Marina, of the blog Anime B&B, and with me is my co-host Draggle, of the cleverly titled Draggle's Anime blog.
This week, we discuss a ninja and assassin under one roof, and rock is a lady's modesty. Shall we start with a ninja and assassin under one roof?
Yeah, let's go.
So this one, it's like the title says, a ninja and an assassin live under one roof. The ninja escaped from her village, kind of by accident. She showed up to some meeting and got dragged along with things, and then she was being hunted for being a traitor. But she met an assassin who murdered all her pursuers, and the assassin tolerates her because she can hide corpses very well, although she's useless at everything else.
Keep in mind, though, that the assassin, she's actually very, very good. So it's not like she really needs her. The only reason why she kind of needs Satoko, who is the escaped ninja, is because Konoha actually sucks at cleanup. And there's this whole ranking, and it's kind of funny that it's something that they can see on their phone, right? It's like this site online ranking of your skills as an assassin, and hers were pretty low, or I don't know if they were middling or just low because she never did cleanup, right?
Right, she just leaves the corpse in the blood.
That's right. But since she has Satoko now to turn everything to leaves, that's what her skill is, it makes cleanup really easy.
Yeah. But I think we're making this show sound like it's about the plot, which
oh no,
it's not.
it's
a
absolutely
comedy.
not.
Yeah, and it's
a
quite
dark
funny.
comedy.
It is a dark comedy. Yeah, but presented in a light
very
way.
pretty package.
Yeah.
Very fluffy, comedic, right? There's lots of jokes and laughing, and then you're looking closer at the content, right? of what they're laughing about, what is causing the humor, and it's actually quite dark.
Yeah, there's so much casual murder in this show.
Oh yeah, it's constant.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal to the characters too, especially I think
to all of them.
Yeah, to all of them. I think my favorite episode must have been the when the ninja got replaced with the robot.
Oh my gosh. That whole series, it was 3 episodes or something.
Oh, was it?
I felt like they extended it for quite a bit. I was like, it's still going on. It's still she's still not living with her friend. And I guess friend is a very strong word.
Yeah, but, especially after that when she liked the robot more than the original.
Yeah. Konoha liking robot Satoko more.
Well, the robot's good at cooking, so
it wasn't even. No, she wasn't at the start. It's not even about the cooking, right? It was so much more than that. The robot is more thoughtful than the real Satoko, because Satoko might adore Konoha, but she's actually a terrible friend, a terrible housemate.
She's terrible at everything except turning things to leaves.
So if you could take everything that she's terrible at and make it better and consistent, because this is Roboco, right? This is a robot. It will always do things the same. It'll always look out for the good of its master, which in this case is Konoha, kind of, even though she's not the inventor.
Right.
But yeah, she is dependable in a way that the real Satoko is not.
Exactly, yeah. So it makes sense, but it's so sad and also so funny.
It is so sad. What's also hilarious is because they're watching this live because there's cameras placed all over their apartment. And oh god, just seeing the two of them drawing closer, and it was oddly romantic, right? They're coming closer and closer together, almost falling in love. Konoha and this Roboco.
Right, and then when she murders the robot, and
I actually felt bad. I felt bad for Roboco. I felt bad for Konoha for their blossoming relationship to just end like that.
I know. And the ninja didn't even get why she was mad.
No. She was totally oblivious. She's like, I'm here now. It's me now. And then when she makes the soup for her, and Konoha's like, Roboco's was better. Oh, so bad. You know what actually really surprised me about this show?
What?
It's basically exactly how I expected it to be with the comedy. Not so much the dark humor side of it, but just the sort of slapstick style of joking. Is that I didn't realize until I looked into it a little bit more. I didn't know this was a Shaft show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I can see it now that you say it, but they've definitely chilled out over how they used to be.
Yeah. Well, I think the director, or there's a director, I can't remember if it's the director or the original creator, like one of them is kind of known for not being as into the stylistic nature of a lot of other Shaft shows. You know how there's like lots of patterning, lots of like very obvious animations that they do. Yeah. And that's absent here, right?
Yeah. Well, it
you
works.
still get a lot of like the character designs do look similar.
Mm.
Right. I feel like now that's been pointed out, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see some of these characters being like, I don't know, Bakemonogatari or something.
Yeah, and it's very colorful, pretty fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
I can see
and
it.
I guess also like the comedy now, I can see where it comes in like that, how it suits the studio.
Yeah, it's definitely like similar to Zetsubo Sensei with that dark humor.
I mean, like Arakawa Under the Bridge, right? Like in Homelessness, like it's just treated as a joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no idea until I looked, and then I was like, oh, okay.
I wasn't even sure if they still existed, actually.
Oh, really?
I feel like it's been a while since. Maybe I'm just forgetting.
There's been anything that's been obviously Shaft, in a visual sense.
Yeah. Let me look this up.
They've got like 3 new shows, including this one for this year. Noted. Oh, the one's a movie, and the other one's a show that's starting in 12 days. So it's for the new season.
Oh, okay.
Virgin Punk. Again, look at this. It doesn't even look like Shaft.
Yeah, they made RWBY, Ice Queendom. I don't remember this at all.
Oh, no, there's more Monogatari stuff. I mean, we saw some of the more recent Monogatari things, remember?
Pretty Boy Detective Club. Do you remember this?
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh, actually,
that's back in 2021. That's not that recent.
They didn't make anything since 2022.
Okay.
No wonder it seems like it's been a while. It has been a while.
Oh, no, but they have the Monogatari series off.
Oh.
That was 2024.
Right. That's in the movies section.
And we watched that. It's not even, because it's 14, it was on ONA, remember? And we watched that, at least some of it.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, I guess they've just been making movies.
Movies and spin-offs and stuff, and maybe some support. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But this Virgin Punk looks like it's going to be a full Shaft show.
Sweet.
I don't know, like it's too early to say, right? But they're the only studio that's listed.
Okay.
And since we're on the topic of like Konoha and Satoko and like the way they are with each other, very callous on Konoha's part, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to like use them as a comparison to another couple that's very close to them, who probably don't want to be so close to them, is Kuro and Aiko.
Are those the lesbians?
Remember who I'm talking about? Yeah.
The leader?
Yeah.
And the Bond girl? Yeah.
Like having them as like the other quote unquote like couple, because really Satoko and Konoha aren't a couple. You sort of see them as a duo, right?
Right.
But like their relationship, and then you see Kuro and Aiko's relationship, and how like they absolutely don't want to be involved with one another because of like, they're right. Every time Satoko gets involved with them, something bad happens for them. And I love that like Kuro, the leader, didn't even realize that she had taken Satoko, and like Satoko didn't want to go, or she just had no idea what was happening.
Right. Well, Satoko's pretty dumb.
Yeah, Satoko is dumb, and she doesn't have really that desire to leave her job, right? It doesn't seem like it.
No, she's still being a ninja, as the leader keeps pointing out. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, Kuro, who leader, is the one who I guess led the group that left. It makes sense that she doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore, right?
Yeah.
But I also find her relationship specifically with Aiko pretty funny, because Aiko is just like this regular human, right? Like no affiliation with ninjas whatsoever or assassins.
Right. But she's pretty intense too.
She's intense as well.
She's kind of the scariest one, maybe.
Really? You think so?
When she thinks leader is cheating on her.
Can you blame her with some of the things that you see Kuro do with the pachinko? Come on.
No, I don't.
Like she would be on my shit list too. Like I would be really mad if I found out that she had lied to me about not going anymore.
Yeah, for sure. But her reaction is still quite funny.
Yeah, it's a little extreme. It's a lot extreme.
Yeah.
But I keep wishing every episode when they show up, I'm just like, leave them alone. Just like, don't go to them anymore. Let them live their happy, non-assassin life.
Nah, that wouldn't be funny.
Yeah. I think my favorite whole stretch of this so far has been like the haunting that just ended.
Oh, yeah.
But like, right? Because we mentioned before how they treat stuff like death, right? And then passing on as like a joke. And then you see these characters who had died living these lovely, fluffy lives. Like you see little peeks into their lives before they were killed. And then you see what they're doing now that they have been killed because they're all in the afterlife. And I just love seeing like these characters who aren't around anymore, but they're still alive in our memories and they're still alive in the afterlife. And they're so hungry for revenge.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I have no idea where this is going. And it's like almost the end of the season now. So.
I don't think it's going anywhere. And I'm fine with
No?
that. No.
You think they're going to just like end it with this one season, or you think they're going to try to do a sequel?
I don't know. I hope they just end it. I don't think it needs a sequel.
Because I think this is pretty solid as it is. I wouldn't say that this is a favorite anime of the season or even of like, it's not like I'm going to probably remember this very well so many years from now, but I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. It's not my favorite of the season either, but this season has some tough competition, right?
There's a lot of good shows this season.
I think there's definitely other seasons where this would have been one of my top shows.
Yeah. Not this one.
No. But I do really enjoy it. It's quite funny.
I'm glad it's here. It's good for when I just need something lighthearted in a twisted way. But that sort of leads me to our next show, which is Rock is a Lady's Modesty, because I mentioned that I thought A Ninja and an Assassin, I might not remember it as much because it doesn't stand out as much. I mean, yeah, it's funny. But Rock is a Lady's Modesty, I feel like will stand a little bit more of the test of time because it is fairly unique, right, with its premise?
Yeah, for sure. This one I'm definitely going to remember.
Because I can't really think of any other show in recent memory that uses this style of music. Because rock, right? We're talking about rock music. And it's legit rock. Like, we're not talking about J-pop, right? We're not talking about, like, idol music. This is legitimate, like, and non-vocal, right? Purely instrumental rock music.
Yeah.
Since, I don't know. When's the last time you remember them covering this style of music?
Whatever. But that's not what I'm going to remember.
No, I know that that's not the highlight for you. It was the highlight for me. That's where I was hooked. I was like, okay, like this is kind of a school setting. Oh, girls, okay. And then they played the music and I was like, okay, I'm here for it.
Oh, interesting.
And then even when the characters became annoying, I'm like, I don't care. I'm really more interested in the music scene.
They became annoying?
Huh?
Wow, you're what
yeah,
you
we're
appreciate
opposites.
is so different from what I appreciate.
But that's the great thing about it, talking about it like this too,
true.
right?
Yeah,
that's why it's interesting. So tell me about why you like this show.
Oh, I love it when after they rock out or while they're rocking out and they get their crazy like angry faces like they're gonna murder somebody.
Oh yeah.
And then they start cussing each other out afterwards.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
I hate that. I mean, I like the intensity, right?
It's
when
so
they're
funny.
playing. Yeah, like their expressions and just like how into it they are and how they sort of like rile each other up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But the whole like ripping into each other after the after the fact and like cussing each other out. I'm like, okay, this isn't really what musicians do. Like maybe they're like this if they're like fighting about something like their song or their program, their portrayal, their performance, whatever. Or maybe they're like this with like a rival group. But the way that they do it in this show is definitely for the viewers' entertainment.
Exactly. And I am entertained.
You were entertained.
I'm not watching this
appalled.
for realism of music. I'm watching this for entertainment.
Of course you are. I did actually think of an example of like, there's Bocchi, right? Bocchi the Rock. But that's still different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not quite rock. Well, it's a different it's much more
This is
chill.
more like metal, right? This one feels more like heavy metal almost, or like the way she does. I could see her doing like double bass or something. The way that she like plays the drum set, and like the guitar riffs that they're doing, different than Bocchi the Rock, which felt a lot lighter. Even though like the main character wasn't exactly a light-hearted person, but yeah,
this show is so much fun. Did you have a favorite part?
like the whole their most recent performance that they did, and the fact that they didn't get any claps.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I was like, come on, not one pity clap? Are you serious? Like, why? How could no one appreciate? Like, I can understand being kind of bored. I've definitely been to shows where, you're there watching the openers and I'm like, I'm just waiting for the headliner. I don't care about these bands. And they're not changing my mind. Like, there's a reason why they're not the headliner, which sounds really cutting, but I feel like it's very rare that I find an opening act where I like them. And like, this is not the same, right? This was a battle of the bands.
Yeah. I thought they were just too shocked to clap.
Well, not for the first songs. Remember they did like 2 songs and they were
right.
totally disjointed and like the keyboardist almost stopped, but then she was pushing herself, but she was like not on beat.
Yeah.
And then like the guitarist Lilisa, like she was not quite playing with the group in a way. And yeah, it just like wasn't good. It wasn't until like the third one where they really went all out and finally were playing like themselves.
Right.
Anyways, but like, what were you going to say?
My favorite was definitely the joining the symphonic band arc.
Oh God, the one where I like flipped out at how terrible they treated those band people.
Yeah. It was great. I loved it.
It is not great.
Especially
it was
when they
really bad form.
When they cussed out that singer.
Oh my God. They're just like burning their bridges with all of these opportunities to be able to perform elsewhere and interact with other musicians. Like, you don't treat other people like that.
I know you don't, but it's very entertaining.
Yes, It was entertaining, but I was appalled.
I was appalled too. That's why it was funny.
They were the ones that responded to an ad asking for help. And then they didn't help. They drove this poor band to the limit. Arguably, probably pushed some of them off the cliff.
Exactly. It was glorious.
Speaking as a former musician, or I don't know if you still play music. Do you, Draggle?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. I remember us talking about this and how conflict of wanting to be better, but then wanting to just play for fun. And I feel like you're one of those band members that you were not sympathizing with, and you're watching and being entertained by these poor people, like being forced to play in a style that's not their own and like way harder and treat it more seriously than the intent was at the start.
They were only treating it seriously for 10 minutes, so I can forgive them.
Okay.
But it's not about like my sympathy. It's about my laughter.
Okay. You don't see yourself so much in them. You're just like there to have fun.
I'm here to have fun. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If I wanted to join a band, I would join the band.
But what kind of band?
I would join the lame symphonic band that gets shit on and cussed at.
Basically my band that I'm in, my community band.
Exactly. I would not join the hardcore rock band.
No, it's very casual.
I'm too nice to cuss at my bandmates.
Unlike, I was going to ask you, because we've recently met a couple of new characters, right?
Mm.
Tamaki, who is originally a guitar player that we see, even though we learn differently later, but we see her first as a guitar player. Amazing. Huge fan base.
The masochist.
And then what? The masochist? Yes. We don't find that out until later, again. At first, she's the one who seems like she's the cutting personality, right? Like she's the hard ass.
Yeah.
And then when she has to play bass so that she can accommodate Lilisa on the guitar. But then we see how much that Tamaki worships Otaha. And then that's where the masochism comes in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she is fun. Tina, the keyboarder, I'm not sure about her.
I'm not sure about her either. She's a very interesting role.
Yeah.
In this band. And in this anime overall, like she's just, I don't know if she fits, but maybe by the end it'll make sense. There's only 13 episodes.
Maybe.
And we're like almost done. So I have no idea. But right now it still feels a little ill-fitting.
Yeah. My favorite who's not in the band is the little sister. I love the little sister.
I wish she was featured more. I want to know more about that. Because I'm sure we want more for different reasons.
I was about to say the same thing.
Okay, I'll give my reason. You can give your reason. My reason is that I feel like the whole start of this anime, they made such a big deal about Lilisa's home situation, right? And like her inner turmoil about the personality that she needs to project because of her mother, and then this marriage into another family. So she's got a stepsister, the one that you're talking about, and then a stepfather. But that's like a way higher bracket now socially. So she feels like she has to put on this like very ladylike front. Plus her mom hates anything that has to do with the former husband, right? Which is where she learned how to play guitar from and all this rock music.
Her mom is scary.
Her mom is terrifying, right?
Yeah.
They featured the mom enough and the home environment enough to where I want to know more. And I'm wanting them to come back to it at the end to like find some sort of resolution. It doesn't have to be like a happy ending, but I wanted to like know what's going to happen at the end when the mom finds out, like if the mom finds out. And like they show the sister a bit and then that sort of coming to peace with one another, right? Like the sister finds out her real face and likes it more than the fake face.
Right.
But then they kind of like vanish and they haven't come back to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can kind of imagine that it would end with something involving the mother and the family.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
I mean, they're going to have to wrap it up in like, I don't know, the last 2 episodes because we're already getting there to the end of the season.
Yeah. Although it was weird that in the latest episode, they introduced this new old rich student.
Yeah.
So I'm actually have no idea where they're going to end.
I have a feeling that this is going to turn into a second season.
I suspect so as well. It seems like we're not done yet.
Right, because they've just formed the band. Now that they're more comfortable with one another, right?
Yeah.
Because they thought that they were going to be done with each other after this one battle of the bands, but then obviously they all want more.
And they just introduced this new character who's pissing everyone off.
And like to do that right at the end, there's no way that they're going to only have this one season or that they're planning to stop here. Like they're opening up too much for a second season.
Yeah. And I definitely hope we get a second season.
So this one you would want a second season?
This one I would, yeah. I think this one is not done yet.
Okay. Yeah, I would watch it too. As much as I think they are way too dramatic and angry.
That's what I watch it for, though.
Tune in again to Kaiseki Anime Podcast 2 weeks from now. Please feel free to send us questions or comments on Blue Sky with hashtag Kaiseki Anime Podcast or on our individual accounts at Draggle and at MarinaBnB.
Listen to and review us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts so we can continue to grow and improve. Thanks for listening. See you next time.